Real quick, I want to do a fair use. Yeah, this is Julian Brown, the young genius working to turn plastic into fuel, is catching the world's attention, has vanished under mysterious circumstances, right? Yeah. So, yeah, this brother's been catching the world's attention, right? For turning plastic trash into basically into gold, basically, right? Turning into to fuel, right? Which is quite what do you call it? Amazing is for one, but it's innovative. It's a thing that would change the way they could charge you at the gas pump, right? So I mean, it makes sense that he's missing, right? When the powers that be, right? So this is Julius Brown. This is the man who turned plastic into fuel. Julius Brown, the inventor of plasoline, right? Instead of gasoline, he called it plasoline, has now been missing for 2 weeks. Back in May, he was featured on the Weather Channel for his groundbreaking work. Not long after, he flew to Washington, where his invention passed the diesel test certification. Okay, so now they're saying, hey, this is certifiable. It can work. It can work in diesels. It can work, in any vehicle, right? It says, but things took a strange turn in June. Julius posts a video saying he didn't expect to live much longer. He claimed black helicopters were circling his house at night. Then on July 9th, he uploaded his last video. In it, he looked scared and said he was under attack. Wow.
If you've never heard of Julian Brown, he was the inventor from Atlanta that invented Plastoline, a device that turns plastic into fuel. He's now been missing for 2 weeks, unheard of, and it's unlike him. And at the end of this video, you'll see the last video he posted on July 9th, warning that he thought something was going to happen to him.
All right, listen, everybody. I can't go into too much detail, but there is some very, very odd stuff going on. I'm certainly under attack.
The last 2 posts before this video was him making the Weather Channel and him flying out and passing the diesel test certification.
I know that I'm not going to live long. And that's why I put every day, every hour, every minute into building. Why am I out here despite weird black helicopters that turn off their radar transponder circling me 6 times at night? I do this because this is my mission.
If you've never heard of Julian Brown, he was the inventor from
Moses. All right, family, I don't know how true this is, but I know you guys know who Moses West is and Julian Brown. So Moses West is that U.S. Army veteran who created that green machine that turns air into water out of thin air, right? And then Julian Brown is the the kid with the dreads who turns plastic into diesel gas or diesel fuel, right? So supposedly these two guys are missing, right? And to me, it's kind of weird, but if you look at U.S. history, you come to see and you come to find out that when you start to make stuff that starts to rattle the status quo, right? So Julian is turning plastic into diesel fuel, right? Companies are not going to like that. And I'm pretty sure he was warned already. Just think about it. He's turning trash into gold, right? So you're not an asset anymore at that point. You become a threat, right? To us, he's an asset because we need black brothers like that to continue to work. You get what I'm saying? We need more Moses West to keep working and keep building, right? Because people around the world think that black people is just gangbangers. They don't understand that black people are not a monolith. We all are not the same. There are black people in America that couldn't even fathom the word poor. You get what I'm saying? So we have inventors. We've had inventors. We've had everything. And good dudes like them, they deserve all the respect. They deserve all the support from us. You get what I'm saying? So if anybody knows where these two dudes are, supposedly they both are missing or they're both offline, listen, we need to find these brothers and let's make sure that they're safe and let's support them, right? Because check this out. Moses' water machines, right? Why don't he have contracts with the continent of Africa? There's 54 countries in Africa who may have water issues, right? Across Asia, across everywhere. And this is a black man who invented a machine that could literally help the world. Him and Julian. Think about what Julian could do in Africa with his machine, turning plastic from the ocean into diesel fuel. Imagine what that could do for the continent of Africa. Yeah, here in America, we already got set up. There's already corporations, and they're not going to like what these two brothers is doing. But when we talking about the diaspora, dudes like this are vital, super vital. So if y'all know that they safe, drop that in the comments. But yeah, man, let's support these type of brothers because everybody don't want to be ratchet. Everybody don't want to be a rapper. Everybody don't want to be street, and you don't have to be. All right, fam.
Yeah, so basically, so now you got the two brothers are missing, these two inventors. But I just looked at a video they were saying that the young brother, Julius, his mother said that he's fine. He's hiding out. But then that's not saying no one said anything about the brother Moses West, right? So no one's saying he's fine. So, and that's even if that's a true statement from his mother. No one got her voice saying he's all right. This is just someone reporting it, saying that the New York Times or something said that the mother spoke to them, but then if that's the case, why didn't she just do an interview or just do a live? It doesn't take nothing to do a Facebook live or a TikTok live. But hey, regardless, at the end of the day, So this is Psalms 62. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Saying that's ultimately that's Esau, man. He's been imagining mischief against man, or at least the true man, the human, right? The Israelite, the God that's upon the earth, right? And he's not a real man, right? He don't care about for anyone but himself. He don't even care for his own people, especially when you're dealing with the elites. Ye shall be slain, all of you. See, and ultimately, they're going to be all slain. Obadiah 1:18. As a bowing wall shall ye be, right? And a wall is what? For defense. A wall is for protection. But if a wall is bowing, right? That's not a very good wall, right? And a tottering fence mean it's basically it's broken. And this system of America is broken. But then, you know, at the same time, they want to slaughter you, right? So-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, which are the Israelites. But that's okay, right? Because the Lord is coming. Yahushua is on his way. It's on his way, right? Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. They only consult to cast him down. See, and their only thought is to cast us down, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Starting with the so-called Negro, right? Especially him. But we're all Israelites, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. From His Excellency, right? See, that's an excellent thing to turn this plastic, this trash, right? You're talking about the pollutions and all the plastic that's in the ocean. It's so much plastic. It can wrap around the earth 3 or 4 times. Why not take that plastic and then pay this man? But you don't really want to pay him because he's black, so-called black, which really he's an Israelite. You don't want to pay him. Right? He'd be a trillionaire. You don't really want to pay him. And then you don't really want to make gas so affordable that things are affordable so people can live. You know what I mean? Then you could just pay the essentials. You just pay your mortgage, you know, and buy food, just essentials. Because when you go to other places, you know, their electricity's free, school's free, right? What's like this this degenerate, what's his name? What's the dude name? How you say it? Anton Daniels, right? Anton Daniels, right? He mentioned about how foreigners come here and they can do this and they run laps around Americans. Well, foreigners, they don't have student loan debts, right? Which is the reason why people are asking for forgiveness for the student loan debts. Because in this country, they're telling you for you to be anything, you got to go to these certain schools, you got to have this, you got to have that, which really puts you in debt. So now you're behind the ball, right? Right? So these foreigners come here with no student debt, with no loans, no this and that, no big time thing. When I'm in debt, trying to establish something in debt, the more things I buy, the more things you try to do, put you into more debt. That's why with his logic, he's thinking the way the so-called white man thinks, man. Right? Because with all this stuff, America ain't got out of its debt. You see? Just one of those Negroes that just because he got a little bit of money, now he's Mr. fucking wise guy. You mean you're smart now? You're nobody, man. You're just the Edomite's pet, man. Because you think you rub shoulders with the boule and man. You people are sick, man. But see, it's only to cast down your excellency. So they'll use somebody like you, blackface, so we could go, oh well, nah, man. You're just blackface for Edomite to say some Edomite crap, man. So you only to cast down his excellency. Only cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. See, and that's a motherfucking lie, man. Salakia for my Italian, right? But But at the end of the day, those things are lies, man. Oh yeah, they run laps. Oh yeah. Well, have yourself put behind the 8 ball, which even those people hate us. You know what I mean? The foreigners, right? They hate us, right? You hate us. The Edomite hates us. So how do we win, man? How do we really win? Right? Yeah, and there's some things you don't. I mean, I get it. You can't blame the self-proclaimed so-called white man for everything, but then everything is in his control, though. What are you talking about? You know? The fuck are you really saying? It says they bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly, right? Salah, right? Meditate on that, right? Think about that, right? Pause, think a minute. Don't ain't that how the so-called, oh man, oh my God, black people are this, they do this, and they're so great. The less fortunate, you need to get the yabi, the jump shot before everybody, because you're this and you're that. You're the less fortunate, and we're here to help you. And you know what I'm saying? But yet they're reverse engineering foods to destroy us. And then this dude Anton Daniels get on there and go, well, you black, you need to be like this, and you need to do that, and you need not to. The dude is reverse engineering foods to attack us personally. Right? If this dude ain't the devil, I don't know what is, man. But we can't blame the so-called white man for nothing, right? Right? Because first they don't have no money, but now you got $100-something billion for ICE all of a sudden. Come on, man. But he gonna find out the hard way. My soul, wait, thou only upon the power, right? The Most High, Yahweh, man. My soul only waits for Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, man. For my expectations is from him, right? My expectation is not in America. It's definitely not in the so-called white man. But we're gonna call a spade a spade. We're gonna say this dude is the devil, and the things that he do, right? We're definitely gonna say that, right? Say anything else will be uncivilized, right? You know, right? Right? Because that's what this devil is, man. He's uncivilized, man. Right? To just give him a pass, and you don't got to bring up nothing the atrocities he's done. You don't got to bring up that they had train loads full of guns. That there ain't a poppy field nowhere near America, but here it is, Heron and all this riddles our freaking neighborhoods. Right? You don't gotta mention that. We can't blame him. We can't say nothing. That's what this Anton Daniels guy will be like. You can't say nothing about the white man. Right? You know? You know, I'm gonna go to the next scripture, man. Cause you know, this dude had me pissed off, man. Talking madness, man. You know? Yeah, so this is Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. For thou art an holy people, right? It's talking to you so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. You're holy, holy meaning separate, right? Purified, separate, cleansed, and then separated from all the other nations, right? Right, and even at this time, even from within the Israelites, right? Because that's why the Lord's only delivering the elect. You're separate from even other Israelites, because they're still in the heathenistic mentality, right? They're still unclean, still uncircumcised, right? Unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, thy power, right? And Yahweh have chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, right? And he made you that bridge to basically come back, that repair through Yahweh Shai, through the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, repaired that to be adopted. Adopted means to be brought back, right? Not how they think about it in this day age, right? Right? To reconcile, right? To reconcile, right? It means to basically to be brought back, right? It means you had a relationship at once. Meaning to do again, right? And that's what it is. You're going to reconcile it, right? And it was through Yahweh Shai's blood, through his sacrifice, you're able to reconcile. And the Lord chose you to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth, right? And that hasn't changed, and nor is it going to change, right? Starting with the elect, right? So we'll go up here, same chapter, Deuteronomy 14, go in this transliterate, and I'm going to look up the word peculiar, and it says people, right? Which is the men and the women, but this whole thing starts off with the men, right? Because the man carries the seed, right? And then it says
Strong's H 5459 Segala.
And it goes into possession, property, valued property, peculiar, what? Treasures, right? So you're a treasure unto the Most High Yahweh, jewel, right? Treasure, right? And that's what this is, man. When you got such inventors and things like that, it shows that we're a treasure. Even in this low condition, you have Jakes that's willing to help people, right? Because they could have easily created those things and just kept it to themselves. But they created to hopefully help out so-called society, mankind. But there's a man beast that's among us, which is Esau, man. Right? He's a madman, right? That's why it tells you in 2nd Ezra 16, he's going to be a madman sparing none. Right? Which that's what they're doing. If you think of what's going on in Gaza, that's like a madman sparing none. But you are his treasures, right? And that proves even such low conditions, after slavery, after so many 400 years of slavery, here you are, you're still able to be the world's greatest inventors, man. The world's greatest, basketball players, football players, actors, actresses, everything, right? The music, every genre of music came from you. You're literally the salt of the earth, right? Without you, there's no flavor. There's no excitement. Even Esau that hates you, what would his life be like if he couldn't hate you? Even these fucking niggas who got a little bit of money, Salakia for that, but Like Anton Daniel, nigga got a little bit of money. Well, what would he do if he couldn't say something about you? Right? But you're the Lord's treasure, man. Starting with the elect. Right? Yeah, so this is Psalms 35:4. For Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, have chosen Jacob, right? Which his name is synonymous with Israel, because Israel is Jacob, and Jacob blessing, according to Genesis 49, gave the blessing to his sons, his 12 sons, right? It says, unto himself, right? See, going back into the Lord called you unto himself, right? Same thing. And Israel, right, which is synonymous with who he is, Israel, or Yasha Allah, right? What should we say? Yasha Allah, for his peculiar what? Treasure. See, and it gave you the definition on this one. That's a treasure, that you're the Lord's treasure. For I know that Yahweh is great, and that our Lord out of one is above all gods. So we're above all people, all nations upon this earth, and our out of one, our power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, is above all gods, man. So it proves that we're better than everybody on this planet, and it shows when you got these inventors, these hey, ultimately the prophets, man, right? The Lord gave the true understanding to Abba, and then to our elders, to Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Ramlad, to the apostles that's in Connecticut, on down to us us affiliates, right? Which, Lord willing, I make up we're part of that. I'm part of that body, Lord willing, but it shows, right? Such a lower state, such depravity, such unmoral, no moral standards. Here it is, the Lord raised up men, and now they have a understanding of how to have moral standards, how to think and operate with a royal mentality as a treasure, right? Yeah, so this is Joel chapter 3, verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, right? The Israelites, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, and have given a boy for an harlot, right? They it's where you get the word motherfucker from, right? It's a harlot. When you have to have sex with your mother to build a bigger, better slave, right? These are the man, bro. And sold a girl for wine that they may drink, right? Giving it to Ham, right? Giving them watered down rum and old guns, old musket guns, right? It says, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, that's Ham, and all the coast of Palestine, which we know that Palestine used to be Ham too, but we know that those Ishmael came in and took over Palestine, and so that's why they're getting over there, getting judged right now for putting their hands on us, putting us in slavery. And will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? And that's what's actually happening to them people over in Palestine right to this day. The Lord is returning that recompense unto them, right? And the Ham, you're next, right? And all you nations are next. Because the Lord just said we're above all nations. And you guys have put your hands on us, man. Right? Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly and pleasant things. Right? That's treasure. Silver and gold is treasures. You're putting your hands on the Lord's treasure. And you put it in your temples here, out here in Babylon the Great. What is this? This is the prison house, man. Right? Babylon the Great is the prison house, man. Just in itself. Yeah, the children of Judah, the children, or the sons, really should be sons, also of Judah, and the sons of Jerusalem, so the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, have they, have ye sold unto the Grecians, right, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, that ye may remove them far from their borders, right? And that's ultimately the same MO that Esau's doing now. He's using the ice and trying to round you up and cast you out of America into foreign countries. And sometimes you make it to these foreign countries, sometimes you may not, right? But he's going back into the same MO, but it's to cash you off, put you far away, so that you don't get to understand, or that they can not remember the name of Israel. So you're not considered a nation, but the Lord already has us as a nation, starting with the elect, right? Yeah. So this is Sirach 45, also known as Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach 45:10, with holy garment, with gold and blue silk and purple, right, which are royal colors, right, kingly, priestly apparel, which is what the Lord is going to give to us, what we're going to have in the kingdom, right, which we basically represent that now, right, as the men on the highways and the byways, right. It says with work of the embroider, with a breastplate of judgment, with the Urim and the Thummim. Yeah, see, represent that now. We're out there on the highways and the byways. Yeah, the Lord said, put on the whole armor, right? The helmet of salvation, right? Was the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of faith, right? Might have to get that just so I remember. Yeah, but and the Urim and the Thummim, right? The Urim and the Thummim is basically what your phone. You're able to pull up videos. You're showing people the videos, showing them what happened, things like that. You're even showing them a prophecy of things that's gonna happen, right? As well, one particular thing that stands out is the MOTB, right? Which is a major prophecy, right? See it being played out. Warning, right? Yeah, so this is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 13. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of power, right? Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, that ye may be able to withstand you will be able to withstand in the evil day, and have done all to stand. Wherefore, having your loins girt about with truth, right? And that's having the 100% doctrine, the 100% truth. Having on the breastplate of righteousness. There you go. Righteousness, right? And your feet shod with the preparations of the gospel of peace, right? Because that kind of remind me of the one scripture when it talks about being apt to teach, right? The Lord said that we must go out into the highways and the byways, right? Go out into the streets, the hedges, right? Your feet got to be ready to go to where you may need to teach out, right? You got to be apt to teach. That kind of remind me of that right there, right? Because you're because it said we should stand upon our feet, an exceedingly great army, right? Right, and that's spiritual warfare. So above all, taking the shield of faith, see, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. See, and that's the thing that's out there, man. The spiritual battle is real, man. Satan is always constantly praying and always constantly coming against you, right? And then eventually the Satan likes to be hands-on. He likes to get physical, right? To take the helmet of salvation, there it is, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the scriptures, right? This word, right? The Urim and the Thummim is in your Bible, in your phone, right? You have the actual, the Bible, the pages, right? Which is the word of power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. So let's come back here. It says, with twisted scarlet, the works of a cunning workman, with precious stones, right? Ecclesiasticus 45 and 11, Salakia, which is Sirach 45:11. With twisted scarlet, the work of a cunning workman, with precious stones grave like seals, and set in gold, the work of the jeweler, right? Because the Lord said we're his treasure, right? So the Lord's gonna put you on a higher level, right? He's gonna show you that you're better than all the other nations, right? And that our God is greater than all the other gods. You could pray to Satan, but Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, is greater than Satan, man. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world, man. Right? So it says, with writing graven for memorial, see? And the Lord said that he was gonna he's gonna engrave your name on his palm, right? The Lord he's gonna remember you. You ever think about something you want to write something down on your palm so you don't forget, which is basically like a memorial. That's what the Lord said he's gonna do for us, right? After the number of the tribes of Israel. And so where's everybody else in that, right? Only the tribes of Israel. That ain't talking about the whole world, right? Yeah, so this is Isaiah chapter 49 and 16. Isaiah chapter 49, verse 16. Behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. I have graven thee upon the palms of my hand. See? That's like a memorial. Say like you're thinking about some things and let me write this down. You don't got no paper. You just got a pen. You just write on your hand so you remember. Okay, I'll remember. A memorial is for remembrance, right? So this is what Yahweh said. He graven you in the palm of his hands. Upon the palm of my hands, thy walls are continually before me, right? So the Lord sees us, man. Our protection, our provision is going to come from the Most High. It says, thy children shall make haste, thy destroyers have they that made thee waste shall go forth of thee, right? So all the people who try to destroy us, the Lord's gonna make them leave from us, man. They ain't gonna be able to stand, right? Lift up thy eyes round about, and behold, feast your eyes, look, pay attention. All these gather themselves together and come to thee as I live, right? Saying, Yahweh, the true power, our God is above all other gods, and he lives. Other gods are just idols, right? They don't live. Saith Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, thou shalt surely clothe thee with them all, and with the ornaments, and bind them on thee as a bride doeth, man. So that's reminds me of the one verse when the Lord said that we're going to boast ourselves in the glory of the Gentiles, right? So yeah, going back to this Ecclesiasticus of Sirach 45:11, finishing off, written with the engraving for a memorial, right? See, the Lord engraved in his hand, his palm, after the number of the tribes of Israel. See, so the Lord ain't gonna forget us, man. Starting with the elect, he set a crown of gold upon the meat tree, right? And we're what a nation of kings and priests, wherein was graven holiness and ornament of honor. See, right? We're gonna boast ourselves in the wealth and the glory of all these heathen, man. They think they're doing something, but really, you're bringing in your own demise at the end of the day, right? The Lord guides us. A costly work, the desire of the eyes, goodly and beautiful. See, it's going to be beautiful when the Lord put these nations in subjection. Underneath, started with King David, of course, Yahweh first, and then, of course, King David, right? Which remind me of this. Let me skip down. And it says, he chose him out of all men living to offer sacrifice. What all men? The Israelites, man. Right? Chose the Israelites. To the outer one, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, incense of sweet savor for a what? A memorial, right? So you can remember, hey, man, going back to that, man, to make what? Reconciliation, right? And that's what Yahweh Shai did, man. When he came back more than 2,000 years ago, he sacrificed, right, for that reconciliation, right? That's a true sacrifice of reconciliation. And then we have a sacrifice that we have to do. We have to sacrifice our body as a living sacrifice, right? Out there on the highways and the byways. Right? Reconciliation for his people, which are the Israelites. He gave unto him his commandments and authority, right? We're going to rule over these nations, and statutes and judgments, that he should teach Jacob the testimonies and inform Israel in his laws, right? Right? And that's what we do every weekend. Week in and week out, digital epistles, right? We're informing Jacob, right? You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, that you are the treasures of the Most High. You are the children of Israel, right? This is why they come against you, right? The strangers, what? Conspire, which is another word of saying, because they'll go about and say that it's a conspiracy theory, but another word for conspiracy is conspire. So there is a such thing as conspiracies, or people conspiring against us, which that's what even the young man was saying. He said that he went to some place, and all of a sudden he was driving down the road, and his tire flew off because he went to some type of, he had his brakes need to get fixed, but then he was driving down the road, his tire fell off. Then he was in his workshop working, and his thing exploded. He's been doing that for a long time. He figured most likely it was, error on his own. But when you're thinking about what the things is happening, maybe it wasn't his own error. Maybe it was a thing trying to set it up, hoping that it would blow up and then kill him. Then next you know, he's missing for a while. Then I guess they come back and say that his mom said he's okay. But that we haven't seen any video of his mom actually saying that. This is just things that they say some news paper place have said, which we know they lie to us, right? Right. But what about Moses West? Nobody ain't said they seen him, so there's still a concern, right? And so they conspire together against him, right? Against the Israelites, right? Going back to Psalms 83, right? And maligned him in the wilderness. And where is that wilderness at? America, right? They slander us, right? Like the Cincinnati fight that they're talking about. They're trying to slander us. When the Edomite started it, the Edomite put his hands on somebody he didn't have no business, right? And there's a such thing as F around and find out. Put your hand on. See, we knew that back in the day, man. Be careful who you touch, because you don't know who is they people, man. Kind of like Training Day. Remember the movie Training Day? The reason why the character of Denzel Washington got shot up and killed like that is because he touched a Russian mafia dude. Everybody know you don't touch a Russian mafia, but see, their thing is, hey, you're just some nigga, man. Right? You could just do what you want to do. Right? And now they could blame you. Right? Even Anton Daniels trying to blame you. Some nigga, just because you're making a little money means nothing, man. See? Because when all in all, these Edomites are going to be there for you, bro. Right? Even the men that were of Dathan and Ibron's side. Sorry, it's some the congregation of Kor with fury and wrath. Yeah, that's what that's what they're doing. They're coming against us with fury and wrath. Yeah, the Lord saw, and it displeased him. See, so the Lord is going to be displeased at this, man, because he's coming down with great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time, right? And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai saw it displeased him, and in his wrathful indignation, righteous indignation, were they consumed. See, and that's what's going to happen to you self-proclaimed so-called white people, man. You're going to get consumed right along with Anton Daniels, man. You're going to get consumed, bro. He did wonders upon them and consumed them with the fiery flame. And then that's the ICBM missiles. But hey, race wars are going to be a fiery flame. So where are you going to be at, Anton Daniels? The white man's going to let you in his bunker? Only if you're gonna dance like a little monkey, they'll let you. You ain't gonna have no protection, man. While you playing a game, the scripture says that everybody's gonna have to go into their own people. And what do you do when obviously you're against your own people? you think any Jake is gonna be looking to help you? You looking to help master, you know? So yeah, with all that, I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. The elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, the elect, right? Because the hopeful elect will be the elect. Hey, shalom to the elect, to the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, your Akhwathiim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and above all, Kwam Yasharallah.